Alright everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. And today, before we start, I would like to just go over some things with y'all. There's going to be a more consistent upload schedule on this channel from here on. I'm taking way more time to commit to YouTube and streaming on Twitch. You can find me here if you want to go. I'll be making a schedule that you can all follow along with. I'll be streaming on certain days and certain times. I'll have to make up that schedule regarding my time and all that. I gotta figure out what day is best for people, and I'll figure that eventually. However, yeah, today we will be going over Ness's matchups and what I feel he wins, loses, goes even with. And these are obviously my opinions, so please don't, kill me for it in the comments. But if you have any questions or you wanted to ask me about a certain matchup, make sure to leave some questions for me, and I'll make sure to get back to you. So yeah, let's start off quick. We'll just go from the top. We'll go from the top down. And yeah, so first off, we'll start with Bayo. I have a very good Bayonetta in my region. His tag is Reflection. I play him every so often, and this matchup is more even, honestly. Bayo's really good at keeping Ness in disadvantage, especially in the air. Our air dodge is really good sometimes, but against this character, it's not as useful as you think it would be. Honestly, Bayo players are really good at reacting to air dodges and waiting for the perfect opportunities in order to get more damage and continue their advantage strings. And although in a little bit of our favor, she is light and she does die to some of our earlier confirms. Like, she'll die super early to a PK Fire confirm with the Magnet Bear at the end, especially on some of the stages with smaller blast zones. But yeah, her advantage state against us is really good, and sometimes it's just hard to get back to center stage and maintain control. We can honestly outrange her, and she's got a decent amount of buttons that outrange us as well. But as long as we play more defensively, it's more of an even matchup. Next we have Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. is not actually too bad in the matchup. He does okay, but overall we win. +1. I mean, I feel like we don't beat him that hard, but with the combination of his crappy disadvantage and like flowcharty options with the cart, he's a little bit too linear, honestly. You know, he doesn't really have a lot of options to stuff us out if we're just both playing on the ground. He doesn't have a lot of just pressure heavy moves. Most of his stuff is usually in the air, and if we stay out of the air, we should be fine. Next up is Bowser. Now, Bowser's a weird case because you would think that it would be a winning matchup for Ness, but I actually don't think it is. I think it's more around even. And I say this because Bowser has a really good 2-frame in the form of his F tilt and his down tilt. And honestly, his advantage state is super explosive, and it's also really hard to react to some of Bowser's options, and especially because Ness is really floaty, and for whatever reason, they decided to make Bowser really fast. Bowser can sometimes get in at times you don't expect, and Ness he's good at reacting to that stuff without a shield, but sometimes you get a little bit too far, and you're not able to, react. And Bowser's advantage state is really good, and like similar to kind of Bayo. Like if you get in against Bowser, then if you're playing your advantage state really well, you can kill him in 1 or 2 hits as long as you connect your strings and make sure you edge guard him. But Bowser can do the kind of same to you. He can just get you off stage and then forward tilt you and then edge guard you with forward air, because that forward air is huge. And he's really good at stuffing out jumps as well, because if you don't jump, then you hit him on the ground and he could just up you. And in terms of Ness, Ness doesn't really have that good of spacing moves. His forward air and his back air are primarily his 2 best, but if you misspace a PK Fire, you get grabbed, thrown off stage, and you die. But like I said before, if we were playing clean in our advantage states and we get Bowser off stage and down smash him, then we'll be okay. Next is Falcon. I actually played a Falcon last week at my local. Most of me will probably know him. He is Sean the Falcon. I played him, and I felt the matchup was kind of easy. Falcon doesn't really have a lot to escape, especially in disadvantage. Ness is a very combo heavy character, and Falcon's like the perfect weight for that. And when you get Falcon in disadvantage, like I said before, he doesn't really have a lot of ways out. Air dodges primarily, but we could just read that if we wanted to. His combos are really good against Ness because he's floaty, and his fall speed is pretty bad as well. So the advantage for Captain Falcon is obviously his combo game. And off stage, a down air from him is pretty easy to time. That could be very scary as well. Falcon's down air is huge, and our up B's pretty slow. So sometimes, you know, it could be a little bit scary. But most of the time, he's pretty heavy combo food for us, and down smash catches his up B as well. So I think it's a +1 at least. All right, Chrom. I'll do Chrom and Roy as kind of in the same category. Honestly, it's a sortie. Ness is too slow. That's it. Ness is just so damn slow. Our advantage stays pretty good against Chrom and Roy. Once you get your hits in, get them off stage and edge guard, yeah, sure. But in neutral, their buttons are just way too good against us, and their fall speeds, their short hops, everything is too fast, and it's hard to keep up. Honestly, it's hard to keep up with all their buttons. And if you're not playing out of shields most of the time and reading their dash shields, then it's gonna be hard for you. Off stage is terrible. Being on ledge, it's hard to get off because of our floatiness, and if we try and do the mix up with the double jump magnet, we're just gonna get forward smashed or side beat. Honestly, I think Roy is a little bit worse because his buttons are honestly more oppressing. And for Chrom, when he up Bs, we can PK fire the up B and just kill him for free, sort of like Ike. But it's just Roy is just so much more oppressive in turn, because if we get Chrom off stage, most likely we can take the stock. However, with Roy, it's just like he can mix it up, and it'll be a little bit harder for us. But yeah, overall, just their buttons are way too fast for us, and it's hard to keep up. Next, we got Cloud. I've played Spargo a couple times. I have a pretty good Cloud in my region of the tag of Epo, and we play a decent amount too. And it's another sword. You could say that it's bad because his sword is way longer, but it's kind of like Chrom. His recovery is really bad, super linear, easy to edge guard, and we have the perfect tools for edge guarding it. PK fire, just a run off nair, anything really. If Cloud doesn't sweet spot the ledge, it just needs you edge guard. Cloud's buttons are very oppressive though, and it's hard to get in neutral, especially when you're at the ledge. Cloud could just kind of back air you, and a parry is gonna save you, I guess. You have to kind of read the option of the Cloud, whether it's like dash in forward air or like dash in shield and then roll. You have to be very mix up heavy when it comes to that. And I feel like our advantage state is pretty good against Cloud as well. Just getting him off stage and then edge guarding him from there is primarily where we get most of our damage. But yeah, I honestly think it's more of an even matchup. Sometimes it could feel really bad for Ness, but if you get the right start, you could definitely argue that it's even. Corrin, I haven't really played a lot of Corrins. I have somebody named Hoshiro's Finest in my region. He's a pretty good Corrin. I played him a couple times, and it just felt kind of easy. I mean, Corrin's good at juggling. That sword's huge. His moves last a long time, and hitboxes, yeah, like I said, are huge. I feel like Corrin is also pretty slow and doesn't get at a disadvantage well. I personally, the couple times I played it, I think it's easy. Peach and Daisy. I think this matchup's even. Mostly because Peach's floatiness actually kind of kills her in this matchup. In the air, Peach can't really get down. Against PK Thunder juggles at least. Down her air dodge is really slow as well. And that's how we rack up most of our percentage, just kind of keeping her up there. But Peach is also, has that really incredible advantage state with her float cancel stuff. And Ness doesn't really have a lot of ways to deal with it. He kind of just has to catch landings and be really defensive. Sometimes you could play aggressive, like I said, when Peach is in disadvantage, but neutral is kind of even. It's just more when the one character gets their hit, either Ness or Peach. That's when stuff starts going downhill for either character. But yeah, I think I've played this matchup for a long time, and I would honestly argue that it's more of an even matchup. Next, we got the Pits. This is a free matchup for Ness, absolutely free. Their combo potential is really good against Ness, because a lot of Ness players like to air dodge and just play really unsafe when in disadvantage. So the good Pit players will take advantage of that and will punish us for our mistakes. However, once Ness gets an advantage, there's not a lot that the Pits can do, honestly, especially off stage. His up B and his side B are a free down smash as long as you read the correct option. He's really slow in the air as well, so Ness can really challenge whenever he wants. And I don't know, their kill power is very lackluster as well. As long as you play safe, choose your options wisely, you should be fine in that matchup. Next, we got Samus and Dark Samus. Let me just find Samus. I've played this matchup a good amount. Personally, I feel like it depends on the Samus, the way you think about it, but there's always the threat of the absorb. Ness's pressure is really good on Samus, especially if you begin to read that their panic options, such as their panic options in the corner, like a roll or a jump. Ness is really good in those situations to capitalize. If he reads a roll and you get a really close PK fire off, that's just really good damage on Samus. And a lot of the Samus players tend to have those very like heavy flowcharty options, especially when they're scared of being hit or they don't want to play aggressive. They tend to have those options a lot, and as long as you cover those, you get a lot of your percent that way. But Ness's disadvantage kind of sucks, honestly, especially on the ledge against Samus. He doesn't have a lot to cover when they're doing the bomb drops. When Samus gets an advantage, it's pretty good for her. She's able to keep you. If you air dodge, you get hit by charge shot, and if you don't air dodge, up air is really good at keeping us in the air. But overall, I think this is actually a winning matchup for Ness. I know a lot of Samuses might not agree, but I've played this matchup a lot, and I think Ness is really good at pressuring, especially in the corner, which most of the times that's where a Samus, that's their home, that's where they reside. Yeah, Ness's mix-up game is really strong with PK fires, maybe dash attack, pressure with forward air, back air, and then maybe sometimes go for a grab. But overall, yeah, I would call this an even matchup. Next, we got Diddy. I've played a decent amount of Ness Diddy, and I would say it's a pretty even matchup. Diddy's really good at edge guarding Ness because of banana drop. Banana's kind of just like the only thing that I would say that really harms us in the matchup. It's just super oppressing. You don't want to jump and get hit out, but like as you drop fair, or like get hit by banana into fair, whatever it may be. Ness's ground game is kind of lackluster in this matchup, as Diddy kind of just plays it better. And he's better at controlling the space. His moves are faster. The one thing I would say Ness has in this matchup is the offstage game. He's very good at edge guarding Diddy. He can just throw out a lasting forward air or an air and it might hit. Same thing for back air. I think Ness's advantage in this matchup in particular is pretty good as well. Diddy doesn't have a lot of ways to escape, and like reading a monkey flip or a barrel is with PK fire and getting a punish off it is really good. Most of these matchups that I say are like even is honestly just dependent on how well you can keep these characters in disadvantage. Like, Bowser, Bayo, Cloud, the Peach and Daisy duo. It's just how well can you keep these characters, you stop them from playing their game and, allow you to play yours. And Diddy's one of those characters where you kind of have to either take banana away or just have it completely absent from the neutral interactions, as you most likely will lose if they have it out, unless you're playing on a platform or you're playing defensive in some way. Alright, so next up we got DK. This is a free +2 matchup. I feel like DK's got good options to stuff out Ness, like Nair and back air, but he just kind of gets comboed so hard. And off stage, he doesn't have any options. You can go above the ledge and hit Ness. With spinning Kong, you can just go above and dodge the yo-yo, but if the Ness reads that, they can kind of just go off and down at you in prediction. He's just a punching bag, honestly. That's kind of it for that matchup. Next, we got Doc. That's another free +2 matchup. I've played Mabel. That's the best Doc on Wi-Fi, at least I think right now. But Doc has a good advantage as well against Ness. Air dodges really screw Ness up. But off stage, you're just kind of dead as Doc. A free forward air, like you can't waste your jump. You kind of just have to go for the down B. But Ness can trade with an air if he wants. He can just do anything. Like his hitboxes are disjoints and they're way too strong. I mean, an early stock could be as much as forward throw because of the set knockback near ledge into forward air, and Dr. Mario's kind of just helpless. He's kind of just dead. That's it. Next up, we got Duck Hunt. I also think this is a I've played Zane. Zane is one of the best Duck Hunts. And there have been times where I felt like this matchup is super easy, but also times where I've just kind of been lost. This character is good at spacing, obviously, and I don't know, for whatever reason, it's kind of hard for us to camp against Duck Hunt. He's got the can and the gunman and the frisbee. air dodging against his characters is horrible. Like, I've experienced an air dodge where I kind of just, you know, die. And being as light as Ness is, he's not that light, but he's kind of light. Makes him really susceptible to most of Duck Hunt's early percent combos, and late percent, Frisbee into back air is really strong against Ness. Ness can edge guard this character super well, though. Duck Hunt's really, you know, his recovery is super linear. It's just straight up or, you know, straight to the side. It's kind of just a free back air. In neutral, though, Ness, he can overwhelm with his pressure. He doesn't have to deal with Gunman if he doesn't want to. He can kind of just PK fire it. He can bat away the can. He can just hit it with PK fire, whatever it may be. But once you overwhelm Duck Hunt enough, get him off stage and take the stock. That's it. That's pretty much how it works. You can camp against Duck Hunt for sure, but it's just a bit harder. You should just play aggressive and get in there. Next up, we got Falco. I played Tilde a good amount. I beat him recently at a tournament. I feel like it's even, obviously, because, you know, all the glass cannons like Fox, Falco, Wolf, I feel like that those are Spacies that Ness can do well against. I feel like all the Spacies have something a little lackluster about them that Ness can take advantage of. Falco's super solid at comboing Ness, especially because Nesses love to air dodge. They take good advantage of that. And Falco's combo ability is just nuts on Ness, I think. Ness does solid. I think it's an even matchup. Same thing with Fox, but Fox is a lot faster. He's super oppressive, way too oppressive. A lot of the times, I've played light a couple times as well, and he's just on top of me mostly at all times, and it's hard to get out because Ness is slow. Being in that opportune position to air dodge and always getting caught for it sucks against Fox. Getting juggled with up airs and with forward air. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for Ness if the Fox knows what they're doing. Obviously, Ness can catch side Bs with down smash. Edge guard Fox a lot better. I still think it's more of an even matchup in regards to that. And Fox, you know, obviously dies really early to our PK fire combos. Even a back air like 80 on the smaller stages will kill him. Ganon, kind of the same logic as DK. He's just a punching bag, and there's not a lot he can do, especially off stage. Next up, we got Greninja. I used to think that Greninja was here. I thought it was a -2, but recently I've discovered that Greninja really isn't that bad. Obviously, Ness kind of just gets one hit into struggle. It's like you get hit off stage once, and then, you know, the fun begins. Like, how are you gonna get off ledge? Because you get dash attack into back air, and Ness is already at the blast zone. So it's like, how well can you play your disadvantage against Greninja? And then how well can you camp Greninja? Because Greninja plays really good aggression, especially with a character like Ness who loves to air dodge and wants to get back into, you know, the fighting mode and wants to keep center stage. Greninja's super good at that. And camping with Water Shuriken is really good as well because we can not absorb it. I just think that Ness, if he had better zoning tools, he would be able to deal with Greninja way better. But one hit from Greninja leads to a lot of damage. Off stage is not that good either because a Hydro Pump uses the chance that you'll die if the Greninja times it well. Next up, we got Ice Climbers. And I played Ices recently. I don't know how well known they are. It wasn't easy, to say the least. I've played a couple Ice Climbers, and I do think it's a particularly easy matchup, but I kind of had a lot of trouble with it. Separating them is not hard with Ness at all. You just get a PK fire going. A Maggot, even if they dash in the wrong, you know, if they dash in the wrong way, they might get separated because of the magnet hitbox. Edge guarding them is pretty easy as well. It's kind of easy to get rid of Nana too, because Nana takes a lot of damage and Ness's kill power is ridiculous. And edge guarding Nana is easy as hell too. Ike, I hate this character with a passion. Hate him with a passion. Ike's advantage is way too good against Ness. Way too good. Character is able to outrange us. Just everything that sucks for Ness, Ike has. Literally everything. Good aerials to catch air dodges, like dumb combo potential, busted out of shield option. Character just really sucks to play against as Ness, especially if you get red. If you air dodge too much and he does an air into an up air, back air, it frame traps you in some way. It's hard from there. Once you get off stage, getting off a ledge is it's so hard against the big sword. Although, I'm not putting it in -2, I'm putting it in -1, is because our advantage state against Ike really isn't that bad either. Off stage in particular, We can catch side B with up B, with PK Thunder and PK Fire as well for Ike's up B, and just spike him. There's a lot of potential there. If Ike uses his jump and then you hit him with the tail of PK Thunder before he side Bs, he will have to then resort to up B. As long as you catch that, because you don't want to go for the ball, you don't want to hit him and give him his side B back. So going for the tail and making sure that he has to go low in order to come back gives you a good advantage. Next up on the list, we got Incineroar. This, I played SkyJ in a couple money matches. Once you start reading revenge options, offstage as well is super bad for Incineroar. I think Ness's advantage stage is super good in this matchup. He doesn't really get held in disadvantage too bad either. It's kind of similar. I'll put them all together, like DK and Ganon. Incineroar does it a little bit better than them, honestly. Even though he's in like the same category as them, he does a little bit better. His frame data is really good, and he's got a lot of good kill power. But it doesn't really do much against Ness. Not a lot of people use Inkling anymore. I'm leaning more towards +1. This character is good at throwing out fast options. I think Inkling is really good at keeping Ness on ledge. But in neutral, Inkling's not particularly best. Good at juggling as well. But I feel like Ness just does everything a lot better. Spacing better, stronger moves, combo potential against Inkling is really good too. Able to absorb neutral B, you know, splat bomb, splat shot, whatever. Inkling doesn't have a lot of ways in against Ness, and I think that's the most important thing in the matchup, is that once you get in against Ness, you know, you have to keep your advantage state, but if you can't get in, then what are you gonna do? Next up, we have Isabelle. It's not a terrible matchup for Ness, but it's definitely plus. Isabelle's options they're kind of just whatever, you know? I mean, they're good in some senses, but I feel like Ness just does it all better. I mean, Isabelle has Slingshot and spacing, and good at edge guarding, of course. You know, you can pocket the PK Thunder, but a lot of that stuff that you know you would think that people would go for don't actually go for. Kind of just let Ness get back for free. Air dodge is the primary reason for that, because you know you have to cover for it. Isabelle is just kind of lackluster in kill power, and Puff, for many reasons, is a +2 matchup. You die off of anything above 50%. Like, you just kind of die. Advantage state is really good. I mean, Puff might be able to edge guard you. A good Puff might be able to edge guard you. Not if you played smart, though. Like, if they make a mistake off stage and you PK Thunder them for it, they might just die. That's it. They might just die. Advantage state's crazy against Puff. Just catch jumps with your, you know, crazy disjointed aerials. Joker is a pain in the butt. This is a, I don't know. Definitely a pain to play against. Joker's really fast and can camp you with guns. Ness does not have the best get-in options against Joker, but I feel like Ness's advantage is super good against Joker. Joker's moves are fast, but they're not particularly big. That's what I think puts this as an even matchup, is that in neutral without Arsene, Joker doesn't really have a lot of options. Joker is kind of forced to camp. And he has to play off stage really well. He's got to edge guard Ness in order to get his stocks if he wants to get him early without Arsene. And I think Ness just takes advantage of Joker without Arsene a lot better than most characters. And that's why I put it in even. Ken and Ryu, wherever Ryu is, this is a free +2 matchup for Ness. These characters are way too linear. Can absorb fireballs, just outspaces with disjoints. Ryu and Ken don't have a lot against Ness. The couple things that they do have, I guess you could say that they're, you know, these players that are, you know, good with the Icon, Vendetta, Andreas, they're good at catching jumps, and Ness players love to jump. If you stay grounded in this matchup against, you know, the Shotos and you grab a lot, put them off stage, read their recovery options into a down air or a PK Fire, they can't snap to ledge very easily. That's pretty much the end of their stock. Forward throw is busted in this matchup for Ness. Just forward takes them off stage. There's not a lot that the Shotos can do. They just kind of have to deal with it and get their strings as they come. But if you play defensively against them, there's not a lot that they can do. Alright, next up we got King Diddy. Personally, I've played this matchup a lot against players like Weezer, Riley, or I'm sorry, his tag is Castelia now. This matchup is just way too free for Ness. Advantage state's nuts. You can reflect Gordo easily. Even with Magnet, you can reflect Gordo. Off stage, you can't go low with Diddy unless you armor through. You can't even armor through because down smash is multiple hits. Because you just kind of go through his down B armor. Like if you go low against the Ness with Diddy, you just get down smash and you die. There's not a lot you can do. Diddy's hammer is quite big though, and sometimes it can be a pain to deal with Ness. But most of the time, it's kind of easy. Ness can pressure Diddy a lot. Diddy's like to jump up in that kind of like above the PS2 platform to jump up there. Ness can get up there super easy with his full hop and up air, or continue, strings and pressure. Gordo is not hard to deal with for Ness, and yeah, I think that's pretty free +2 matchup. Diddy does have dash attack on ledge, which is if you don't know how to deal with it, it's pretty hard. But most of the time, you can just delay your up B and air dodge and make sure that you mix it up. Next up, we got Rool, kind of in the same as the other heavies, just kind of combo food. Rool is not able to do a lot against Ness. Crown's super good at making sure that you stay grounded and you play super defensively. It kind of keeps Ness in check. His aerials are also super solid. Dash attacking PK fire goes through. His spike is lingering, which is good against Ness. Up B. I think that's what separates him from most of the heavies is his armor on his belly. It helps deal with a lot of Ness things. But yeah, he's just super bad and disadvantage. He gets combo juggled, whatever you want to call it at this point. So Kirby, also insanely good +2 matchup for Ness. It's kind of in the same category as Puff. Guy just dies. Not good off stage. Ness can capitalize so easily on Kirby. Kirby's too slow. Doesn't have good aerials. I played a bunch of Kirbys. I played J-Ja. I played J-Ja. I forget his name, Gyu maybe, or Gilhue. I've beaten all those Kirbys. Those are pretty good Kirbys too. And even like when I feel like I was losing in the neutral, like most of the time I was able to make it back very easily without much struggle. I just had to get a couple reads in. A lot of the Kirbys like to do run up shield, and like that's just an easy grab for us and throw them off stage and then start edge guarding. All right, so next up we got Link. Link is definitely an even matchup, mostly because of the sword and because of Nair. He's really good at just keeping Ness in check with Boomerang and with Bomb. Ness has to make sure that he's looking out for that kind of stuff, because a disadvantage state for Ness against Link is honestly pretty piss poor. I feel like that's the primary reason why Ness goes even with Link. It's just because his disadvantage is super poor against Link. But Ness has a lot of good stuff against Link too. Link is, I don't know, he doesn't really have a lot of fast options. A lot of jumpy stuff where you won't expect it. Ness is good at just kind of taking advantage of that, where he's able to just get on Link, and Link has to do something, whether it be Nair or something like an up at a shield in order to get out. Little Max +2 for obvious reasons. Character just dies off stage. Lucario's it's not a terrible matchup for Lucario. I've played VV. It's just like, how well can Lucario just take advantage of his high percent stuff? Like, Ness's advantage is just way too good. If you absorb a Shadow Ball, you don't stay in shield too much to get force palmed, it should be fine. It should be pretty easy for you. Your moves are too big. Your moves are way too big. And Lucario's combos could just be naired. That's it. Just get out of shield free. Next is Lucas. Lucas players say they win this matchup. Absolutely not. Lucas's combos are inconsistent against most of the cast, especially on Ness. Characters lackluster in most departments. I wouldn't say it's a +2 because of absorbing PK Thunder off stage. And Lucas isn't that bad in this matchup, but he just kind of gets beat by whatever Ness does. Ness is just better in every department. There's not anything that I feel is too threatening about Lucas, to the point where I put it in losing. All right, so next up we got Lucina. Oh, I'm gonna get flamed for this one. This is an even matchup. Lucina's an even matchup. I played this matchup so much. I played Stretch. I played Mr. E. I played most Lucinas that you can name. All right, I know this matchup like the back of my hand. I know this matchup so well. And while you might think that it sucks, I'll tell you right now, when Ness gets Lucina on ledge, that's where you take your strides, right there. The sword is a pain in the ass. I know it is. I've experienced a lot. Ness's advantage state against Lucina is pretty damn good, especially on ledge. Use PK Thunder to just stop Dolphin Slash completely. You kind of have to edge guard Lucina. That's where you get, like I said, most of your damage. On stage is gonna be hell. You're not gonna be able to deal with Lucina stuff on stage. You kind of just have to get a grab or read an aerial and get your own aerial off. I can show you multiple VODs where I felt this matchup being so even against Mystery, but it can be hard at sometimes. If disadvantage is terrible for Ness, it's really hard to get out. You have to mix up so many options off stage, and when you're coming down from above, it's just hard. It's hard. Don't get me wrong, it's hard, but you can pick and choose your battles, and when you get them off stage, that's where you take your advantage and you go. I think same kind of reasoning for Marth, but Marth is Marth. He doesn't do it as well as Lucina. He does it good, but not even close to as well as Lucina would do. But that is 10 times easier for Ness, because Ness is able to take advantage of the no tipper, and he's able to just play kind of normally, like he would against Lucina. Just he can commit more. Ness can commit more against Marth without having to worry. Next up, we got Luigi. I've played this matchup so many times, so many times. I have multiple people who I play against that play Luigi, and this matchup it's just easy. You just space aerials. You can play aggressive, you can play defensive, whatever. Like, Luigi cannot deal with forward air. Not at all. And off stage, if you go low with Luigi, you just get down smashed. There's nothing you can do. You have to delay as much as possible. You have to try and go above ledge with green missile. Luigi just cannot do anything. Luigi's advantage is pretty good against Ness, but it doesn't matter when Ness is just all over you. You literally can't do anything. Mario, I've played this matchup too a lot. It's definitely even. Ness's buttons are better in the air, and I feel like on the ground. But Mario players are really good at getting that grab. They're really good at getting that grab and playing on the ledge. And that's where I feel like Ness struggles a lot. It's because he's not able to, in disadvantage, he's not able to get back to center or like playing his own game. He has to deal with Mario in the way. And I play Zapdos. Zapdos is a really good Mario, and he's super good at taking advantage of when I'm getting juggled. He's so good at keeping me at disadvantage. But Ness's buttons are overall just stronger, better, and yeah. I mean, they're not faster, but like Ness doesn't need to have fast aerials. His narrow shield is really good for that. And edge guarding Mario is really easy too. You kind of just trade with up B. You can't down smash because the Mario can just beefy up B through the ledge and hit you through the yo-yo. We got a lot of characters left here. I think I am going to cut it there, and then I will do a part 2. Look forward to that. Look forward to more daily uploads. Like I said, I'm going to become way more consistent with posting on my channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed this first part. Look forward to part 2 when I will be doing the rest of these characters. If you're curious, about any of the characters currently in the list right now, please, don't be afraid to ask. Everybody's got their own opinions. This has been PkChris, and I bid you a farewell. Later.